True, even the safest neighborhoods are not quite safe. This is my first post on here, so I'm sorry if it's not the greatest. This story takes place when I was 12 years old. To put this in a better perspective, I am an 18-year-old female. I lived in a small neighborhood in a relatively urban town, although it was more suburban than urban. My family and I had lived there for about 8 years until the time this story takes place, so we were pretty familiar with who lived there. It was one of those neighborhoods where everybody knew everybody, and it was quickly noticed if some new moved in. At the time, there were not many kids in the area for my sister and I to hang out and play with aside from the family that lived next door to us. They had a daughter, who we will call Jessie, who was only 2 days older than me. We got along well with her siblings, and her cousins. We would spend hours every day playing during the summer. Normally, we were all up and outside playing at 9 in the morning, break for lunch around 12:30, then go right back to playing until 10 or 11 o'clock at night. We never really paid attention to the people around us. Although there were a couple of people we would always wave at as they drove home for the day. Now, being young preteen girls, Jessie and I were eager to start acting more grown up. For us, that meant wearing tighter shirts and shorter shorts. Do not worry, they were not the kind that had our butts hanging out the back. But they were significantly shorter than the capers my parents always made me wear. My parents had always taught me to dress modestly and to not have everything out for people to see. While I cannot say I continue to dress exactly that way, I promise I do not dress like a slut. Let me quickly paint you a picture of how my property and their property were set up. Their house faced a side street that comes off of the street I live on, so the back of their house faced the side of mine. Their driveway, however, faced my street. There was a side yard next to their driveway that butted up against my front yard. Our yards were divided by a fence that the previous owners of Jessie's house had put up. Anyway, on one particularly hot and sunny morning, Jessie and I had decided to take a break from a game of tag we had been playing with her family. I was still panting from all the running by the time we made it to her driveway. So I leaned against her mom's boyfriend's car with my butt facing the street. I was wearing my 12-year-old version pair of booty shorts. Now, although I am a small 5'2" petite girl now, I did and still do have a bit of curves on the back end, but being the innocent girl I was, I did not think I would be drawing much attention to myself. Jessie and I were in the middle of a conversation when a jacked-up black Ford rolled toward us on my road. We ignored it, since a lot of the men in the area owned trucks. We had not noticed that it slowed down the closer it got to us, that is, until the driver decided to make his presence known. "Hey, girl." The driver, a heavier, white man in his late 30s, called out to us. I thought he was talking to Jessie at first and, not understanding how weird it was for him to say that, laughed a little. Jessie frowned and said, "I think he's talking to you." I joined her and frowned as well, standing up and turning around to look at the man. "What?" I asked. The man grinned. "Hey there, pretty girl," he chuckled. His eyes looked hungry, and his smile was very unsettling. I was getting scared now. I did not know him, and I was sure he did not know me. I glanced at my friend, but she shook her head to tell me she did not know him. We slowly backed away from the truck before turning and quickly sprinting to the front porch with the other kids. I heard him rev his engine before continuing down the road, away from us. My heart hammered and I felt sick. I decided it was best that I go home, so, after saying goodbye and checking my surroundings, I sprinted back to my house. I never told my parents, and I never heard anything else about the man. Looking back now, though, I wonder what would have happened if I had approached the truck instead of running away. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button to support my work. And as always, enjoy the fear, my dear.